Welcome to the Daily Energize Podcast, your quick dose of clarity, quick tips, and the spark you need to shine bright. Here's your host, Spencer Jones.
Hey Energizer, Spencer here, and welcome to this episode of the Daily Energize. I hope you had a fantastic weekend, and I hope that you are ready for a wonderful week. A week filled with love, with joy, with positives, with all those excellent and amazing things coming true for you. So let's kick it off this week, shall we? I've had a couple conversations recently, and I thought it would be a good topic, some of these conversations I've had, for the Daily Energize, and that is creating a positive culture. Now, culture is obviously a big thing in any group, an organization, company. We all have this culture around us. There's a culture, I would say in my own terms, like the energy, the feeling around a group of people. So that could be in your home, right? What's the culture in your home? What's allowed, what isn't allowed, etc. What about your workplace, the culture there? What about culture if you're part of a sports team, right? You play softball or baseball, or maybe you're in a darts league. It doesn't matter, right? Maybe you're part of a Rotary Club. What's the culture there? Now, many leaders are very intentional about the culture they build, but not all of them. And some of them, it kind of derails and the culture takes its own turn, especially if there's a strong personality working there that is veering that energy to something that maybe doesn't fully align with what the leader's looking for. And I don't know about you, I've been in workplaces where it's been toxic. There's been so much negativity, so much complaining and arguing and second guessing that it was toxic. It wasn't helping me. It wasn't helping the team members. It wasn't helping our clients. It was a toxic place to work. And when I've noticed that, if I can't change it or don't have the power or ability to, then I'm looking elsewhere, because I don't want to surround myself in a toxic environment, and I doubt you want to be around a toxic environment. So we move on, and we see that happen time and time again. But since most likely you are a leader listening to this of an organization to some degree, whether you're in the C-suite or you're somewhere on that totem pole of leading other people, you can still create a culture within your team. Even if there's a bigger overall culture, you can create this bubble that works for you. But even if you don't have that role in a company or your own business, you are still part of a family. You're still part of groups and organizations where you can help impact that culture. Now, this is a big topic. There's been God knows how many books written about it. There's experts that go in and talk about it. I've been lucky enough and grateful enough to build some incredible cultures in the choirs and the different choir programs I've built up over the years, because each group has their own culture and energy, then the choir program has its own, and then in the businesses I've worked in, and in my own business and all that. Now, I'm not an expert, but I've learned some things about it, and I'd love to share at least a little bit. And we don't have a ton of time here, so these are short episodes, but I'd like to share one strategy that has really helped me in all the places I've been and when I've been able to change it or influence it, and that is the community buy-in. That we get the community, as in the other people in the group, in that organization, in that team, to have input. Not just buy in on these bigger images, because if I could walk in and say, oh, this is what we're doing, this is the end-all be-all, they might go, oh, okay, maybe I'll get some buy-in, and maybe I use some fancy language to convince them to join in on this cause and go for it. Maybe, but man, it's a harder sell. What if we change that and instead had their input, their thoughts? What if we came with a question like, okay, we want to be this kind of company, the company who cares, who's supportive, but we also get to have fun here, right? Okay, I come with that question and then ask them, what does this look like for you? All right, what does this look like for you in your life? And then we'll get together with a team, a small group, and you guys can summarize these things and come up with maybe a list, of 3 things, and then we come together as a big group and we name all these 3 things, and that way we could all see what everybody's thinking, and then we can reduce that down and combine some of them into something that's cohesive. A number of years ago, I worked with a local school's wrestling team, and they wanted cohesiveness and buying because there was a lot of division within the team, the different grade levels, and just some were supporting others, but some were not, and it was just this division. So we said, and we came up with, and I was talking with the coach, let's come up with like a mission statement, something and a vision for what this team can look like. So now what they're doing is investing in this mission, this vision for this team. And so we did exactly as I shared. I went in, talked with them, about teamwork and different things and what this could look like. And then, all right, what does this vision look like for you? Answer it by yourself, then go in teams. And then we came together and we did a little more brainstorming, came back together, and we solidified what this mission statement and vision is for them. So by the end of those couple hours that we were working together, they had a clear vision. Hey, this is what we're going for. This is what their aim is. This is the mission behind this. And this is how, not just those things, but this is how we can make that happen. Here's how I am going to contribute to that. And then the hope and goal is that they help hold each other accountable for making that happen. Now, I've done that in groups, in my choirs, with the wrestling team, within companies, and then help them hold that accountable. So I invite you, how's your culture looking? Whether that's at work, at school, in a sports team or a group outside of home and work, some community group, or your home life. People want to be seen, heard, and felt. Things go toxic and negative when they don't. And, yes, sometimes when they do. But oftentimes, if they feel seen, heard, and felt, things happen a lot easier and smoother, and there's more agreements, there's less negativity. So what can you do to help people around you feel seen, heard, and felt? The strategy I shared was one way I've done it, and it doesn't have to be something as big as a vision or a mission. It can be something smaller. Hey, we have this goal that we're working for and towards because our bosses said, hey, we need to get X, right? We need to get X done by this date. Hey, how do you think we could do this? Like, I have some ideas, but I want to hear your thoughts, and let's brainstorm together and spend 20 minutes or 30 minutes, come up with that. Hey, for families, hey, where do you guys want to go on vacation? We have some time between, here's some dates, and maybe here's kind of what I'm thinking and some parameters for it to a degree. But what can we do? What would that look like for you? How would you like to? You're just letting them feel seen, heard, and felt, and part of the decision process. And that goes such a long way. So, in any case, I hope that helps. Hope that can kick off your week. I invite you to look at the cultures of the different places you're in. Which ones can you influence? I mean, you can influence them all regardless if you're in it. Which ones can you influence more than others? Some of them are less so, right? If you're not in the leadership role, but still influence to a degree. But what do you want to influence, and what does that look like? And what could you do? If you want any help with it, I'm always here. Always happy to help out. So, any case, keep being you, keep shining bright, and let yourself be that shining light in every place that you step into. All right, go have a great day, an awesome week, and I'll catch you later.